Hey, what is going on, everybody? Liam here, Everything NYJ, with some really unfortunate injury updates. It has been confirmed that New York Jets safety Chuck Clark has indeed torn his ACL after getting a second opinion. This news was confirmed by Ian Rappaport, and this just really sucks for Chuck Clark. It really sucks for the New York Jets. And before I give my thoughts and takes on this, I just really want to give my thoughts and prayers to Chuck Clark, wishing him nothing but a speedy recovery. Can't wait to see him back on the field next year. Yeah, it has been confirmed today that Chuck Clark is going to miss the entirety of the 2023 season. And these ACL injuries, they really suck. They really do. Sometimes it takes players up to 2 years to come back to their former self. And Chuck Clark has been known as a player over the years to stay really healthy, never really had any injury concerns. He doesn't really have an injury past. And like I said, it's just really unfortunate. This kind of reminds me of the CJ Mosley injury a couple years back. Not to kind of compare injuries here, but just something similar where CJ Mosley has been known in the past with the Baltimore Ravens as the guy to stay healthy. Week one against the Buffalo Bills in 2019, he goes down. He comes back later that season, goes down again. And then the following year in 2020, the COVID year, he obviously opted out. So similar but different in two different aspects here, both former Baltimore Ravens. And Chuck Clark, it seemed like he was going to be having a really good season this coming year. He seemed to be very unhappy with the Baltimore Ravens organization. So honestly thought that we were getting a player that had a chip on his shoulder. He was going to be playing a little bit more angry than normal. And now the question remains, what's next for the New York Jets safety room? Are they going to leave it as is? Are they going to be looking for another piece at that position? And it seemed like Adrian Amos was that third player. And then about a couple hours later, it's confirmed that Chuck Clark is indeed injured, and here we are. So, are the Jets going to be just rolling with Jordan Whitehead and Adrian Amos? Because I personally think that up to this point, Jordan Whitehead's been a bust. I really do. I was saying, I've been saying this in my recent videos. I was saying this all last year that the New York Jets safety position was a liability. Jordan Whitehead, Lamarcus Joyner, they were liabilities. They really were. And like I said, Whitehead's been a bust. So are the New York Jets going to pivot and look at some available free agents? You have Landon Collins, 29 years old, former New York Giant, also former Washington Commander, or at the time Washington Redskins, former Pro Bowl player. He can play both safety and linebacker. So is that a player that the New York Jets are going to be looking at? Because right now they don't have Quan on the team either. So if you need Landon Collins to play a little bit of linebacker, he obviously knows how to. And Robert Sala seems to like the players that can play multiple positions. So this could be a player that the New York Jets are interested in. Or do you want to go a little bit younger? You have John Johnson, 27 years old, doesn't have quite the same accolades as somebody like a Landon Collins, but former player for the LA Rams and the Cleveland Browns, only 27 years old, so he is a little bit younger. Or maybe there's another player. But to be completely honest, right now we're only really one Adrian Amos injury away, one Jordan Whitehead injury away from really being screwed at the safety position. The New York Jets, they seem to like Tony Adams. They obviously like Ashton Davis. But in a year that you're pushing and talking Super Bowl, you have to have depth. We've been talking about this. You cannot roll into a game, middle of the season, game on the line, season on the line, and trust Ashton Davis, trust Tony Adams, even Jordan Whitehead alone. If I'm the New York Jets, if I'm Joe Douglas, you got to bring in another guy. And like I said in yesterday's video, if you guys didn't check that video out, please go ahead and do so. The New York Jets currently have about 24 million in cap space. You got to restructure Aaron Rodgers. You got to extend Quinn Williams, bring back Quan, Dalvin Cook, possibly DeAndre Hopkins. So that money's going to be going down real quick. And now you add yet another safety that you possibly have to be looking at. So anyway, like I said, really unfortunate. Wishing Chuck Clark a very speedy recovery. Can't wait to see him on the field next year. Oh, and here's the other thing. This was the last year of his contract, so he might not even re-sign with the Jets next year. So there is a realistic possibility that we will actually never see Chuck Clark in a New York Jets uniform, which that really stings. But That's obviously in the future. Let's just get him healthy. Let's get him back to 100% before we worry about next year. But if you guys are Joe Douglas, what are you guys doing? Are you looking at another player? Are you looking at somebody like a Landon Collins? Are you looking at a John Johnson? Do you guys have somebody else in mind? Or do you guys just feel comfortable rolling into the season with Adrian Amos, Jordan Whitehead, Tony Adams, Ashton Davis? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll talk Jets soon.